Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. Now today, former footballer Joey Barton has announced on his X account that he is to pay TV presenter Jeremy Vine £75,000 and he's published an apology on his account after the broadcaster sued him for libel and harassment in the High Court. This was after a number of online posts made by Barton which included some slurs such as calling Jeremy Vine a bike nonce and making a number of other unfounded allegations. Now in this video I'm going to go through the facts of what has happened here. I'm going to explain the law of defamation briefly, and then I'm going to highlight what will happen next after Jeremy Vine said that the settlement is not the final outcome in his case against Joey Barton. Welcome to my channel, Andy on Crime, where I talk about high profile criminal cases in England and Wales and other aspects of the law. With all that being said, let's get into the video. So let's dive straight into the facts behind this settlement. Now, earlier this year, between January and March, Joey Barton and Jeremy Vine engaged in a spat on the social media platform X. Now, lawyers acting for Vine said that the abuse began last year after Barton called the female football pundit Eni Aluko, as well as Lucy Ward, the Fred and Rose West of football commentary, referring to the British serial killers. Now, the court heard that Barton began a series of posts criticising women who were involved in football punditry in late 2023, and I have done a video on Joey Barton's comments where I talk about whether or not they break any laws. Vine responded to these comments by Barton by saying, "Is it possible we are dealing with a brain injury here?" which his lawyers stated resulted in a calculated and sustained attack by Barton in January of this year. And lawyers for Vine further argued that a hypothetical reader would appreciate that the term bacon was short for the rhyming slang expression bacon bonce or nonce, a slang word for paedophile, referring to one of the tweets that called Vine a bike nonce and a raving bacon. Now, other tweets by Barton referenced Vine's views on the COVID vaccine, and he called Vine a weasel and a government shill and said, "If you see this fella going by a primary school, call 999. Now, when Joey Barton found out that he was being sued by Vine, he posted on X, "Fella who has served me the papers was sound, told me he completely agreed with me and to keep going." Now, Joey Barton's lawyers argued that the posts he had made on X conveyed no meaning or none that was defamatory under England and Wales law. And he said that the reader would have to be careless and unsophisticated to think that Barton was alleging paedophilia on the part of Jeremy Vine. It would be seen as an abuse posted in the heat of the moment which no one would take seriously and which has no meaning. This was what Joey Barton's lawyers argued. The High Court ruled on Friday the 24th of May that 11 social media posts could defame Jeremy Vine. And the judge stated that the hypothetical reader would not have gained the impression that it was meaningless abuse in the heat of the moment. This was the argument that was put forward by Joey Barton's lawyers. Justice Steyn, the judge, stated it was a statement of fact and it was defamatory at common law. Now, as a result of that decision, Joey Barton has agreed to pay £75,000 to Jeremy Vine, and he posted this apology on X, which you can see on screen now. Between the 8th and 12th of January 2024, I published 11 posts which accused Jeremy Vine of having a sexual interest in children and created a hashtag which made the same allegations, which were viewed millions of times. I recognise that this is a very serious allegation. It is untrue. I do not believe that Mr. Vine has a sexual interest in children, and I wish to set the record straight. And with regards to allegations about the COVID vaccine and forced vaccination, he stated, "I accept that he did not advocate this policy and that the video clip has been edited to give a misleading impression of what he was in fact saying. I then taunted and abused Mr. Vine for bringing a legal complaint against me. I have agreed not to make the same allegations again about Mr. Vine, and I apologise to him for the distress he has suffered. To resolve his claims against me in defamation and harassment, I have agreed to pay Mr. Vine £75,000 in damages and his legal costs." So, what is the law of defamation? The person bringing the claim for defamation is known as the claimant, and the person alleged to have made the defamatory remarks is called the defendant. And to prove a claim, the claimant must prove three things. Firstly, that the defendant's words are defamatory, and I'll explain what that is in a minute. The words refer to the claimant, and finally, that the words have been published. Now, words are considered defamatory if they tend to lower the claimant in the eyes of right-thinking members of society generally, and or they cause the claimant to be shunned or avoided, and or they expose the claimant to hatred, contempt or ridicule. So Jeremy Vine's argument was that by calling him a bike nonce and other unsubstantiated slurs, that this defamed him. The words referred to Jeremy Vine and that the words were published, this time by the use of the social media platform X, and the judge agreed. Joey Barton's defence that the words were essentially meaningless was rejected by the judge, and he ruled that he had defamed Jeremy Vine. So following the agreement to pay £75,000, is that the end of the matter? Well, apparently not, because Jeremy Vine has tweeted in response to Joey Barton's apology the following: "The news of Joey Barton's apology and commitment to pay damages and costs is not the final outcome of this case." Now, Jeremy Vine has explained that his legal team had offered Joey Barton the chance to settle out of court for £75,000 plus his costs and an apology. But Jeremy Vine stated that Joey Barton had ignored that offer and then posted more disgusting tweets about him, and even publishing his home address to his followers on X. Vine stated that when I took my case to the High Court, a judge ruled that 10 of my tweets I complained of were defamatory. Having lost, Barton returned to the offer we made after tweet 5. There has therefore been a parallel action on tweets 6 to 10, and Barton will pay further damages for these. A number of other steps, including a statement made in court by way of an apology, are still to be taken, and Barton has agreed to pay my legal costs of all of the claim. So, clearly there is more to follow on this case. What do you think about this case? Let me know in the comments down below. That's all for this video. If you did enjoy this video, then please do give it a like. And if you'd like to see more from me, then please do subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Take care.